Hey everybody, it's Lyn from Lyn's Crafts, and sorry about that, I've got the camera in my hand for right now. I will put this on, I'll put it on the tripod here in just a bit, but just thought I'd come and explain first what I'm going to do. I filmed a video yesterday, did not upload it. You know how sometimes you do, you're just not happy with it. This is the Primo Accents Transparent. And this is the transparent clay that I have basically always used. Last time I ordered, I bought 2, and I'm down to this much left of this one. So before I ran out, went ahead and ordered some more. But I had wanted to try the Primo Frost, which is a different transparent clay. And as you can see, the Primo Frost comes with the gold label, and I would show you where it says Primo Frost, but this is from a bulk pack, so it had a different label on the back than normal. Normally you get a paper barcode and it says the transparent color on the back. So this is the Primo Accents Transparent Clay. Love the product, but I wanted to try the Frost. I'd seen lots of different comparison videos, and no matter how many comparison videos you watch, until you do it yourself, you don't really know with your techniques or whatever what it's going to come out like. So I did a little, like I said, a little video yesterday where I just took the 2 different colors and clipped a piece off the bottom of each one, 2 pieces, baked them. One of them I plunged in ice water, or cold water. One of them I didn't, to see what the differences would be. Here's the pieces. You really can't tell anything other than the regular Primo Accents Transparent, that's this one, is a little yellower in the single layer like this. Now, part of the reason why I didn't really like the comparison is because, hello, do I ever just use clay like that? No, I don't. So that's really not a good comparison for me. I even went so far as to, let's see if there you go, that I glazed 1/2. And of course, you can tell a difference. You can see my finger through there. It's more frosted on the unglazed part and clearer up here on the top part. So there is a difference. But what I'm going to do to really see the difference myself, because that didn't help me at all, I've got 2. I've got a bit of each of this is the regular, I'm going to keep saying regular, the Primo Accents. This is the Primo Accents, this one right here, and I'm sorry I did not condition it very well. And this is the Primo Frost, and this is just the way it came out of the package. And you cannot say that that is because of the difference in the clay itself. I could have bought 2 blocks of it and then be this different from each other. So really and truly, it's per block as to how your clay comes out. I've had Primo Accents come out just this soft right out of the package, and this one was pretty darn soft when I got it. So it's starting to leach a little bit into the center, but as you roll it, it will come right back. So I have just rolled these out a barely little bit with my clay roller. Sorry, with my clay roller. I haven't used the pasta machine. I am going to, though. It's not necessary. Just roll it out as thin as you think you can get it without it tearing. So as thin as you can get it without it tearing. Some of the work we'll work it out thinner as we go along. So if it's not as thin as you're happy with, we'll work with it. Secondly, I just pulled these out of the drawer. These are some microfine glitters, and every one of these glitters has just come in a pack like this. And the reason I'm showing you this is because hopefully this is something that basically everybody will be able to find. This came from Walmart. Probably any chain store like that, Kmart, is going to have something equivalent. This is from the kids department even, called Basic Elements Extra Fine Glitter. Nothing special about it. Let's see if it shows anything on the back that might help. Oh, it just tells you the other things that they do. Magnetic buttons, magnetic strips, paint brushes, glitter glue, acrylic paint, and the ultimate fuzzy kit. So, it's just your basic microfine glitter. I could pull out glitter after glitter after glitter out of my drawer that is these microfine glitters. Every one of them I've tried has worked fine. The craft glitters, and I've said this before, the larger, chunkier glitter can cause problems in your clay. A, if you use too much. B, because it requires more sanding when you're done. So, stick with the microfine glitters. So I'm going to use that this time, and some paints. And I'm not saying I'm going to use paint. I'll come back with the colors that I've decided. I'm going to try to do something that will show dramatically to see if we can see a difference. So, clay rolled out. I'll roll it out thin in a minute. And your choice of glitter. I'll probably use several. I'll probably combine a couple in each of the stones I'm going to do. But you don't have to. You could go as simple as whatever you want to do. I also love these. Do her justice and turn it up right where you can read it. The Martha Stewart glitters. This happens to be the leaf glitter. Love these. These work absolutely wonderfully, but so do her regular microfine glitters. I only have one, and I got it on clearance, and it's the Peridot. Oh, surprise, surprise. Couldn't possibly be my favorite color. So, there's where we're going to start. And I would pan up and show you the finished beads that I did go ahead and do yesterday while I was waiting on the oven to cool. But I'm going to save those to show you after our experimental tutorial. So alright, I'll be right back. So before I go any further, sorry about that. You can get these sets in different collections. This one is just like a basic. I could have sworn somewhere on here it said that it was just the basics. Oh, basic elements, possibly. So this one is just your average, primary color kind of. But as you can see, the gold and the silver are holographic glitters. So you can actually get these in sets that are strictly holographic. There's a set that's pastels. This basic set. And I'm pretty sure there's another one that I'm not thinking about. But anyway, here's what I mean about using the several different colors. You see here I've got a red, a pink. The pink in the middle is the holographic pink. There you go. And then I've got the pastel pink. So you can mix colors like that, and depending on how the light hits your finished piece when you're done, you'll get different looks. So I'm going to do a green one with the pastel green, the holographic Peridot, and the emerald green from the Basics collection. So that's going to be one of them. And the other one, may seem like a weird combination here, but that's why you call it an experiment, right? So I've got the holographic aqua. That's what I'm going to call it. It's a little less green than a teal. The blue from the Basic set, and the purple from the pastel set. So there's going to be our two. I wanted to do a brown, but unfortunately there is no brown in any of the sets that I have out here. I do have brown glitter, but for the video's sake, I was trying to do, like I said, something where I pretty much could be assured that y'all could find everything I'm using. This is a very equivalent glitter, and it just comes from Michael's, but it's the same microfine glitter. And of course I'm terrible about taking it out of the packaging, so do I have a clue? No. This brand right here is, like I said, it comes from Walmart, and it's Horizon Group is who makes this, and they also make the little dollar inks and stuff that they sell at Walmart. So I'm going to roll out these 2 bits of clay, and I'm going to come right back. Okay, now here's my Sculpey Accents transparent, and here is the transparent frost. It's just stuck to my glass a little more than the other. Okay, now I've gotten out some acrylic paint, and you've got several options here. You can go with a traditional or a metallic, a pearl. The choice is totally yours. I got this particular color still sitting here because one of the finished beads that I'm going to show you here in a bit is done using this color. One of the other ones is this color, and it's yeah, canary yellow, and the Bahama blue is the other one. Okay, so what I have picked out for the green, I could go either way. I could go the Christmas tree green metallic, I believe is what it's called. Christmas green, yes, or the metallic peridot. Sorry about that. And of course, you know that's the way I'm going to go with the peridot on the green one. On the other one, I could go the dark blue that I've pulled out of for the glitter, and this is sorry about the reflection, metallic blue sapphire. I could go this way. This is a turquoise pearl in a deco art dazzling metallic. Wow. Metallic amethyst. Go that route since I got the purple out, or I could go this ice blue right here. Very tempting, but I think I'm going to stick with the metallic blue sapphire. So got the dark blue and the peridot green. Now is when I'm going to put my camera on the tripod, so I'll be right back. I apologize ahead of time because I'm basically filming with y'all pointed right into the sun, and I apologize. Not that I really have much of a choice at the moment, just because my desk is such a mess. So what I'm going to do is, and again, if I shake the desk, it's all part of the process. I'm going to take my green and a paintbrush. Now this is not any different a technique than my rolled inclusion bead, except for the inclusions are a little different. This is more of the updated rolled inclusion bead, where I showed using the paint. So that's what I'm going to be doing. But what we're experimenting with is the difference in the two clays. So you can do so many things right here. Paint stripes, paint spirals. I did both of those in the finished beads. You can layer your stripes. They don't have to go all the way across. They can be different thicknesses. And again, sorry if my hand is right in the way. The things we deal with making a video, isn't it funny? I don't really mean funny, but... And hey, since this is an experiment, I'm going to do just that. We're going to take the gold, this is my week to really mess up the word gold. So I'm going to take the Christmas tree green now, and why not, we'll just put some random circles of color here. And if you follow my videos, you might right now be thinking, Lyn, what are you doing? Because this does not look like anything that would be something I would do. But because it's just going to be a cabochon when it's done, style doesn't really come into it. It's all just about color. So we've got that, some stripes, and then some dots. Just random, however you want to. You could put solid and gradiate it, however you say that. The only thing we want, not necessarily before we put the glitter on, before we roll this up, is to make sure the paint's dry. But before we do that, I'm going to start with just a little bit. I wish these had a sprinkle top. Oh. But what I want to tell you is the amount of glitter is pretty minuscule, really and truly. Where I've over poured right there, I'm going to let that set a minute until my surrounding paint is dry, and then I will spread it out. So that lump is not going to stay there. Now for my pastel, which strangely enough can be one of the ones that shows up the best in your finished bead. It's got more of the, let's see if I can give you a close-up. It's got more of the iridescent glitter in it than the green is all just metallic. This is a more iridescent, so as you turn the piece in the light, sometimes that pastel or lighter colored glitter will catch the light more. And of course the same thing with the holographic glitters, but it can catch different colors of light. So you may get a bit of red reflected, or a bit of orange, or now you can do the same thing with Pearlex powders if you want to do a pearl look instead of a glitter look. Now I could take my finger, which is what I would probably do, to spread that out. But because I'm fixing to do a different color bead, I don't want green all over my fingers. So just spread that out just a little bit. Alright, a little more spread on that bit of peridot right there. Alright, let me check my camera. Y'all gonna be able to see over here on my other bit. I had something to block the light just a little bit. Okay, that might actually be a little better. Okay, so we've got the blue now. Sorry for my elbow. Alright, and I'm notorious for painting out of my lid. Get these glitters moved back just a little bit. So on this one I'm just going to paint some little spirals. I think they don't have to be perfect because they will not look like spirals underneath the stone. They'll just be little curls of color. It's funny, you think you're going to do a quick video. This won't take any time at all. And I'm already thinking this is going to be a 20-minute video. I'll have to do a comparison to some silly clay. No, I don't mean silly clay. But I could do that. I could have just shown you the video that I already filmed. Boring little slices of clay and go, there you go, that's what it looks like. But it didn't really help me, so I didn't really see how it was going to help y'all either, to be honest. Alright. Again, they don't really have to look like spirals, just some swirls. You could have done squiggles, you could have done just about anything. Alright, so there we go. Now we'll sprinkle on our blue glitter. And again, with the glitters, you can also, you could do streaks of, you could do a giant pile like that. Of course, did I look to see how full my glitter was first? No, that was my problem. Because these are such fine little spirals, of course, they're basically already dry. Wow, that was quite a bit of glitter. Alright. The ways you annoy yourself. Y'all just saw it. Come on, sprinkle out a little bit. You get too cautious. And then again with this purple, as you can see again, it's got lots of that really nice iridescent glitter in it. So there will be places where if I swirl my bead right, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Alright. Recipe number 2 has much more glitter than recipe number 1. We will make note of this. And of course you could mix your glitters. You know, you don't have to have a solid color of glitter. I've got this polyflake glitter that's a straight, basically iridescent, transparent glitter. Again, just came from Walmart. And some of these little sets that I showed you, the Walmart sets, will include basically that same type of glitter. Now in the basics, this one has a green iridescence, but some of them will be different. Like I said, this one has a violet iridescence, but if you turn it just right, it has a green iridescence. So, okay, here we go. I'm going to slide my palette knife under the edge there and get this loosened up, just because it makes it easier to roll. As does a flush edge right there. Not imperative, because it's just going to roll into the middle. So, again, this Primo Accents is a little bit more leached out clay. I should have conditioned it a little bit more, just for y'all's sake. I'm used to dealing with it. So I can afford to be lazy. How sad is that? But you know how we can be. You get comfortable with something and it can make you lazy. So alright, I've got that rolled into a basic sort of a roll. And now I'm just trying to mash it to get some of the air out. These type of beads, it's almost impossible to get all the air out, but since it's a colorful, glittery bead, you don't usually wind up seeing it. Alright, stop that right there and then do this one. And because this one was more conditioned, I've got a much flatter edge. But that being said, that makes it a stickier clay. Come on, lay back down for me. Alright. I'm just hoping my hands aren't too much in the way, y'all. I'm really trying to do this where you can see what I'm doing. Now, right there, you can already see the swirls behind the transparent clay. Alright. This one has quite a bit more air trapped in it. Okay, now depending on what you do, you'll get different you'll get different looks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this relatively in half, and then butt my halves back together. And then I'm going to do that again. There we go. To make myself a thick roll. A cane if you're doing caning, but I wouldn't really consider this caning, although I'm probably wrong. This way, if you sliced it, it would be a cane, but that's not the way I'm going to use it. I'm going to do the same thing with the green. And again, it is going to be, probably close to, I don't know, mid-50s, close to 60 today, and it's already smoking hot in my studio. It starts out cold. It was 32 degrees this morning when I got up. So there we go. That one would almost look like a 4-leaf clover if I did it as a cane. So now we're going to start to bring it together. Just using a little warmth from my hand. I'm not really squeezing very tight. Here's where the camera on the tripod is going to start to be an issue, and I apologize. Trying to hold my table still. Alright, so I've got it rolled down just a little bit. At this point, just like in the rolled inclusion bead tutorial, you can start twisting it. There's all kinds of things you can do at this point to add interest to your bead / cabochon, because I'll probably make a cabochon set, which will be a cabochon and a few beads. So there you go. As you can see, we're starting to get a nice twist. Now remember, this one's the Primo Accents, which had just a little bit yellower color out of the package than the Frost does. Squeeze it back down, and again, roll it out. Really pretty. When you do candy cane stripe colors, really can turn out nice. Alright, so now we've got the blue one. This one, because I've done the swirls, the spirals on the paint, I'm not going to twist it. So basically what I'll do is I'm going to pinch this end closed, because I don't want that cut end to show on my finished bead. So both ends, I'm going to pinch them closed. Just like that. Super simple. And then start manipulating the pieced together roll that we've got here. Okay, real quick before I show you the finished beads. One more little technique. One of these I'm going to take and just make a cabochon like I did before. And I'll probably take this one. And then this one I'm going to take and I'm going to cut it in half. And what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to go through 2 of these sections, as opposed to going in the white, in the transparent. So I'm going to actually get my blade though, so I can get a nice cut. Alright. Now you can see how different a pattern you'll get there. This is going to be probably about as close to anything like caning you'll see me get. Now, we've got all of those layers now out on the surface, whereas this piece, all those layers are still hidden under this transparent clay, and they're rolled this way. This one, we've brought those layers to the surface, and our rolls are more this way. Alright, so I'm going to do what I did before, kind of close off this end so it'll match this end a little bit better, and then smash it just enough to be able to roll it. And then we've got lots of immediate results right on the surface. Difference is, this, when it bakes, will more than likely need more sanding than this will. The glitter will sometimes stand a little proud of the surface, and even if it doesn't, the two clays will shrink a little bit differently. So sometimes when it comes out, you'll be able to feel that when you've got the different clays on the surface. When it's buried like this, where the transparent is over the whole surface, you don't have as near as big a problem as that. Sometimes even the clays will sand differently. So you'll start sanding and almost immediately realize that your transparent is sanding faster, or the color that you've used is sanding faster. So you'll immediately start getting a grooved surface. When that happens, just lighten up your sanding just a little bit and try to fill it in with your glaze is about all you can do. Alright. This one's a good comparison. We've still got a lot of color because of course that dark blue is predominant. But this one still has the thin layer of transparent clay all the way around, whereas this one, some of the blue is on the surface. So you'll see a lot more of the glitter and stuff after this one's baked than you will on this one. After it's glazed and everything, you won't be able to tell quite as much. But again, I'm going to decide where I want my top to be, and I really do like that design right there. Isn't it funny how you get quiet when you're concentrating? I don't know why I think it takes concentration to do that, but it's movement with both hands in different directions, I guess. Look how pretty that one's going to be. Really pretty. Alright, and this one looks almost more like a globe. So let's go with this as our top surface. Right around there. You don't want to make your top have the least amount of transparent clay, but you don't want it to be the most either. You want that good contrast. It's what's going to make the design really stand out. So those are both going to be some really nice pieces. I stuck this when I set it down out of the oven. Just the other day I set the edge of it down accidentally on the edge of one of my Ziploc baggies that had clay in it, and so it's got melted plastic. So now every time I reheat it in the oven, the polyfill sticks to it. These, let me see if I can without blinding you. I'll try to refocus and see. I don't know how, I can barely see in the camera right now, so I don't know if you can really see those or not. But when they come out of the oven, we will see. Okay, seriously, maybe this will be the last part of this video, and I'm sorry it's so long, but hopefully I'm getting a lot of good information across. And woohoo for me, because I just figured out how when my camera gets a bit of video trapped, I'm going to call it, where it won't let me take it off. I figured out how to get it off. I'm so excited. This would have so messed up the flow of the video. So, alright, here we go. Here is our Frost and our Primo transparent accents. Accents transparent. So as you can see, this has a much whiter transparency, whereas this has just a barely touch. Let's see if I can hold them both in my hand at the same time. Of a yellower look. Now, since it's green clay, you know, it's not a big deal at all. If you were doing a bead that had white, it's a bigger deal. I'm going to pull out two beads and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, now keep in mind that this one right here is not glazed. It's only been polished. This one is out of my bead box over here, and this is with the Primo Accents Transparent. And you can see just a hint of yellow to the clay, as opposed to the white of the Frost. And here's maybe a better example. You can see just a hint of that yellow color. This is with the Frost. And here's a glazed version of it. And I'm sorry, that little bit of yellow right there is, I think, a reflection. I don't know, maybe not. These are some that I did yesterday. This one is with the swirls painted on the clay, like I did with the blue ones. But since I swirled the bead so much in my hand, and again, this has only been buffed, no sanding, no nothing. Straight out of the oven into the cold water, and then buffed after I dried it. Same thing with this one. These will be absolutely gorgeous in some jewelry. This is one I did yesterday. This one will actually benefit from sanding to thin out that transparency on the top. This one again will be absolutely gorgeous. Oh, you can still see the sheen from the metallic peridot paint. So cool. So many different looks you can get from basically the same recipe, let's call it. Clay, paint, and glitter. This one is actually just clay and glitter, no paint. And these two are from before. Don't pay no attention to those. These are also from yesterday. These are If you go back and watch the oven spike video, these are the yellow that I was trying to accomplish. Just would not let it happen. Really pretty. And here it is glazed. I did these to show, I've had quite a few questions lately about sanding and glazing. So sanded and buffed, sanded, buffed, and glazed. And depending on the depth of the glitter and, you know, is how I determine whether I'm going to glaze it or not. That one, of course, just screamed out glaze. This is also that frost. And you can see how white the transparent is. Almost a moonstone kind of white. These are with the Primo accents, though. Again, sanded and buffed is all I've done to this one. That iridescence is actually from some foil. Some Mylar foil. And I was pretty sure I still had it sitting out here. Here's a piece of a different color. And I have a video somewhere back about that also. So, and then there's our blue ones again. Here's our green tube beads with the Primo accents. And you can see that peridot really does kind of almost benefit from the yellow in the Primo accents. And here are the two round beads. And those will probably be glazed, this particular set. I'm not sure about these. It'll just depend on what they look like after I sand them. So pretty. So there we go. Cabochons, cabochons, and more cabochons. And just a little look at the Primo Frost, since I had not previously used it. So let's get a good overview here. Most of these on the table are well, okay, well, let's stick with half and half. Primo accents, Primo accents, Primo accents, and I believe the rest are Frost. Can't swear to that, but I'm looking at them right now. I'm thinking the rest of them are Frost. So, all right, that is it. Oh, and I was going to say, when the timer goes off in your oven, if you're going to try the plunging into the cold water, give the beads a few minutes to cool down a little bit. Like, if you're baking at a 250, 275, wait till they come down to about 220, 200. Still hot enough that you don't want to touch them, but not hot enough to shatter when you plunge them into the water. So, there we go. That's all I've got for today, and I'm sorry it's a long one again, but hope you get some good information out of it. Holler at y'all later. Bye now.